You are tuned in to the Homies Overtime. We thank you for rocking with us each and every week, Friday night. Thank you. Hit that subscribe, that like, that share. Get those algorithms going. Let's get hype, as G says here. Big G, Tape Boy, what's going on?
It's cracking with you, Dirt, man. I'm chilling, man. We're ready here to do another Overtime podcast. It's been a lot of fleecing, a lot of things going on out in them streets, man. I got co-hosts on other networks talking to live chat, talking crazy to them, talking about they want a street fight like Kimbo Slice. Tate telling me that boy young as a dog. It's a lot going on out in these streets right now, man. So, but I'm happy to be here on Overtime. Your pre-wedding Overtime. Congratulations if I haven't told you, man. Pre-wedding Overtime. Congratulations, man. Congratulations, bro.
The last one without the jewelry.
Facts.
Sometimes you get jewelry, you don't even put it on, man. I mean,
I ain't got mine on either, bro. I understand.
if we going somewhere, like, got to dress up and go there as a couple, I'll throw it on. But around daily, that joker sit in the jewelry box. But it don't mean no less. But as far as me, man, B-Dirt, man, it's great to be here. Thanks for taking your turn and hosting this thing, man. Talk about a lot of interesting stuff.
No. I'm taking Pay's turn at hosting this thing. I took my turn 2 weeks ago.
Oh, okay. Well, thanks.
Big G did it last week. I did the week before. I do it this week. Well, I ain't doing it next week, though. You
guys always got me mixed up. I just know I don't have to do it. And I appreciate that from each and every one of you, because at some point halfway through this thing, about a year and a half ago, we said, well, you three will split up to hosting. So great for me. Sometimes
go ahead. I'm sorry. Hey, B-Dirt, Steelers Almighty said he pulled up looking. He said he out there pulled up looking for punishment. Punishment. I'm telling you, it's going to be some beef over there, man. Punishment. You better chill out. I hope you ain't in there yet, Punishment. He said he pulled up with eyeballs looking.
Let's see if we can get a simulcast thing going, man. Some pay-per-view. Steelers Almighty, the Know-It-Alls channel, man. I mean, I know what Big B working with. Seeing him, talk to him. Know he used to play pro football, punt. I don't know what you like, man. If you like the old boy from the Bordago, you might have some gangsta in you, man. But I don't know how good the real Big Pun was moving around, though. So,
you know, from just the live chat with Big Pun is that he got bad habits.
He's alcoholic. He's alcoholic.
Those can come back to bite. But I just want to say, man, this basketball game is on. I love the play-in, man. I'm sure we'll get into it. The play-in is good for basketball. I like to say, man, I love doing the NBA Central Division Showdown, man, with the homies B. Foss and June from the Detroit Pistons, Bleachers and Speakers podcast, and they do the Detroit Lions. Bleachers and Speakers is the channel. The podcast for basketball is the post-game podcast, and Bleachers and Speakers is the Lions podcast. Also paid in Chicago homies, man. The homies, man, Q and the guys from the Frustrated Chicago Sports Fan, Pay himself. Pay got a staff over there because somebody different always showing up when Pay don't make it on there either. Because just like he missed days here, he missed days there too.
Hey,
he was there last week.
That's boo to that dude Q. That's boo to that dude Q, dog. Boo to him. Boo.
He was going no wild. But shout out to the homies, Zeke and Ricky Sway for Sports Life and Hip Hop. Them bull boys on there talking last week. Past 2 weeks since Chicago got hot, man, they was talking. He talked himself into, I guess, the thing. He said, we going to bet a David Robinson. You know, I'm just trying to do my gentleman's bet with Pay. Pay didn't take it. I don't know why Pay didn't take it. You know, we usually bet $25 whenever we bet. And his boy from Sports Life and Hip Hop, check it out on Instagram and YouTube. They got some good stuff over there. But Pay didn't take it. But by the end, Ricky Smiley said, man, we can bet a David Robinson. You know, I'm yeah, that was
on what? On what?
On the Bulls and Heat game. So I've collected already. But
them boys
was so hype on the Bulls, man. I mean, it's funny. And Pay called it a nifty. I've heard it called it a nifty 50 before, but I said where we from, Big G, they call that thing a half man. So go ahead, go ahead and run me that half man when the Heat smoked the Bulls. Now the Bulls are home. They were seeing red and everything. Now them boys has been quiet the past couple of days, so all things are back to normal. So shout out to the basketball folks at FFSN, man.
NFL67 said, be there. What you got going on next week? He said, nah, congrats. I heard you outkicked your coverage. Kicked it right through the end zone, the upright, the stands. It was fantastic.
Yeah, he got on some of his back in the day Jason Tucker. Not current Jason Tucker.
If you get a chance to outkick your coverage, I highly suggest it. It's a lot of fun.
Oh, I think everybody on this show has.
and listen, also very understanding woman. And one of the things I'll point to about that is Thursday, we're breaking off to have a draft party. She's gonna go do something else with her girl friends and whatnot. We're gonna have a draft party, and we're gonna go live from the draft party. And then at the hotel, we have a venue and a hotel. We got a hotel room at the hotel just to set up podcasts so we can all go in and go live from the hotel and talk about what our thoughts are on a Friday. Talk about what our thoughts are on Saturday on the draft before you guys come to the venue. You can jump on and talk about the afternoon draft if you want to. We can hit it up on Sunday if we want. Like we're doing things. So
I'm hitting it up that way.
Hit it up that way. But yeah, no, it's very cool. I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be a great time. But now we got a lot to get into, man. We done wasted the first 7 minutes, and we got to talk about a lot of stuff. April is one of my favorite months in the sports calendar. I do like, the playoffs and the bowl games and the stuff like that. For football, probably a little bit more. But then in that September when NFL and college starts picking up, I like that one. And then I like April. April, we got NHL playoffs, we got NBA playoffs, we got the NFL draft. And now we got college football transfer portal. Who knew? But the first thing I want to talk about, we've been talking about the NFL. I want to stay on the NFL here. I want to know who you think risers and fallers are. We alluded to it at the end of the first show. Who do you have as somebody that you think is going to rise and get picked maybe ahead of where the media and everybody is saying that they're going to, and who's going to fall as far as where they're projected to go in the draft? And then lastly, somebody you think is going to be a sneaky good player in those latter rounds. Like, who could you pick up in that, maybe at least third, fourth, fifth, sixth, preferably, that could be a pro starter? Big G, I'll kick it over to you first, man. Who you got as your risers and fallers first?
So I'm going to go fallers first.
Okay.
I think that Ted McMullen is one of the biggest fallers in the draft, wide receiver out of Arizona.
And what do you think that reasoning is?
I think when teams actually sat down on it and they looked at the value that they could get in an Emeka Buka or Matthew Golden, because the NFL, you got to play fast. And I'm not saying Ted's slow. He ran like a 4.42 or 4.43. But Mac is running a 4.41, 4.42. Golden's running a 4.3 flat. And they just have game-breaking speed and ability to get open from a slot position. A lot of people are doing comparison to Tech to Mike Evans, and I don't see it. So I think that Ted is falling. And then I got another faller, is James Pierce Jr. I think that they're saying he's taking plays off. I've actually watched film on Pierce, and I see that their edge rushers are jumping in front of him. Williams from Georgia, Stewart from Texas A&M, Green from Marshall. They're jumping in front of him. And so there's a reason why that guy falls like that. Now, could he be fixed at like the Philadelphia Eagles at 32? Yeah, he could. But he's fallen a lot. So those are my two fallers, B.
No Diddy. You got to chill.
Didn't know if we're going to let that go or not.
No,
Yeah,
I was waiting to get done talking. Once I saw you caught it too, B Nerd.
Yeah. It's all good, man. It's all good.
Can I give my faller before Big? Because Big G always like to go first and then take more than one.
That's all right. Yep, you're right. But you can. But I do want to say this about James Pierce. The best word association I've heard so far with James Pierce, aloof.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Guy just seems aloof.
I've heard that.
If he's out here doing great things or doing what he just out here, just doing his thing. Tate, Faller, give it to me.
Well, obviously, I thought Ted McMullen too. That's why he's on the cover of the thumbnail for the show. But I'll go ahead and go another direction because this guy was projected to be a first-round pick last year. Now he's lucky to be 6th or 7th. Sticking the wide receiver position, I'll go with Isaiah Bond out of Texas. Huge fall. I mean, so, he could be one of those steals too at the same time. So he had a year where he was injured, year we had some drop balls, a year where Golden transferred from Houston and came to Texas and was the number 1 receiver on that team. So, I'm going to take Isaiah Bond. I'm just going to take that low-hanging fruit and be done. Just give you one, B-Dirt. You go ahead and go with yours, man.
All right. I'll give you 2. I'll give you a pair of quarterbacks. One should put a smile on your face. I think Shedeur Sanders is really going to fall, and I think you guys have a legitimate chance at getting him.
I'll be so happy. I'll be so happy if that happens.
Too. I would be happy too. You think he gets past the Saints?
I do.
Okay.
I do think he's going to get past the Saints. I know there's some rumbling now. I just don't think that fixes the Saints. I think the Saints are better off. I think you get a better quarterback next year if you pick 24 than you do at 9 this year. Just my thoughts. But I'll rewind the clock. I didn't think about it until you said somebody that last year would have been drafted higher and this year is not going to. What about Quinn Ewers?
Oh, yeah. He smoked it. He smoked it.
Because I also have a receipt over here with Mr. Pay's name on it and mine about Mr. Ewers getting drafted in the 1st round.
Who said what?
I mean, we know which one's wrong, so.
I did. I said Quinn Ewers was going in the 1st round?
No. I said and Pay.
I
said Ewers was not going to go in the 1st round. And as a matter of fact, if we want to pull that clip back up, I think you agreed with me and wholeheartedly talked about seeing him live and knowing he ain't the real deal. But
yeah, we saw him.
No,
we saw him live.
And he's not to just jump in because you brought a receipt up, B-Dirt. And what else Pay owes a receipt for in corner time? How about them Golden State Warriors? How about Hemi, playoff Hemi, not even Jimmy, playoff Hemi and Steph Curry? Pay, corner time is going to be paid sometime soon.
Tate, listen, man. In lieu of letting Big G run off 2 or 3 risers, I'm going to let you go ahead and go first here. You give me who your riser is coming up, the rising stock in this year's draft class.
Thanks, man, because Big G will definitely run off as many as he can think of.
Facts. Sure will. So, ain't no shame in my game.
I'm going to say a riser is, man. And, I mean, he's right because he was hurt during the season and stuff like that. I'm going to stick at that running back position. I know Big G said 10 running backs would go in the first 66. Him and Claude got something on that. Still the possibilities, but I think this guy's risen up from what I would have thought was a 6th or 7th round pick to a 3rd round pick. And I'm going to go with Tootin out of Virginia Tech, running back.
Tootin.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I like him coming up the board.
Not bad. Big G, whose stock is rising most for you right now in the upcoming NFL draft next week?
So when I look at it, I got to look at who could sneak in the top 15. Like a player that wasn't set to maybe not sneak in the top 15, and I think he is going to sneak in the top 15. I think that it's a strong possibility that Travion Henderson could sneak in the top 15 because teams are running back high. Teams are on a running back. I'm telling you guys, everything I'm hearing everywhere is how people are going to follow the model of the Detroit Lions, of the Philadelphia Eagles, of not caring who people think that they should select, but getting a guy who's a difference maker and a game breaker. And every podcast that I'm watching, I'm hearing people talk about Travion Henderson, about how this guy is basically maybe even be a little bit better than Jahmyr Gibbs. And so if you're saying this kid's a little bit better than Jahmyr Gibbs, somebody's going to take a swing for the fences. And I think Trey, I mean, it might not happen, but I wouldn't be shocked if once you saw Ashton Jeanty go off the board. I think the Cowboys would be foolish not to draft Omarion Hampton at 12. And so Jeanty, I say he's going to the Raiders. Omarion Hampton goes 12. I wouldn't be shocked if Trey's the next guy up, man, and a team takes a swing early. I would not be shocked, bro.
All right. I dig it. Tate, if you watched the show yesterday, you're going to know who I'm going to say. This is a guy that probably wasn't on a lot of boards, pre-combine, pro days and stuff like that until people started doing a little bit more research. It's not just research because of the numbers he's putting up at pro days or something like that, but it's really getting into watching that all 22, getting into that film room.
Mm-hmm.
And as we've talked about, you look at positions and body types and things of that nature, and true 3-4 edge rushers in this draft. I mean, there's a handful of them. They're pretty darn good. And then there's a bunch of kind of in the mix guys. And I think that's the reason why this guy, David Walker, Central Arkansas,
dog,
will rise up the board. Had 10.5 sacks last year, almost 70 tackles, 6'1", 263. I think he hits that prototypical 3-4 edge and could probably bulk up and play a 4-3 edge because he's kind of in between. So I think you're going to get a high motor guy there that could get you some production, especially on rush downs early in his career.
Mm-hmm. I love that kid.
Late third or mid fourth.
I love that kid.
That high.
Yeah, so University of Central Arkansas several years back was an NAIA school. Now I think they're an NCAA Division I AA school, but this kid could have easily jumped from a D1 AA to a D1 and been productive. So I love that kid, man. I think he's if we were in the market for an edge, gotta go get him. And that's where your scouting department comes into play as far as your organizations are concerned. Good scouting departments will find jewels like B Dirt just said. They will find guys that at the next level they hit.
Right. That's a sneak pick. That's a Patriots of the past pick. Find those guys in the 4th, 5th rounds from schools that maybe aren't as popular or didn't get the hype or whatever, but fit what they need, and the style that they want to play and have a high motor. Dig it.
But Dirt, I got one more dude, man, if I can. One more guy. I think that Zeeble, the offensive guard / offensive tackle from North Dakota State University, I believe in this draft you're going to have a run in tackles early. I think you're possibly going to have 3 tackles off the board with the first 10 picks. And if that happens, now teams that have tackle as number 1 priority on their draft board, guys move up. I have Josh Simmons penciled as my 4th tackle, but I got Zeeble penciled as my 5th one. And I think that Zeeble could sneak around and mess around and jump in that first round, man. And because teams need tackles. And I watched a lot of film on this kid because Steelers brass was out there saying, we need him, we should get him. And I'm like, yeah, right. He's North Dakota State University. Man, I watched him. Yeah, he is that. He is that, man. And so he's got first-round talent written all over him. So I could see him jumping in the first round early because I'm just predicting that 3 tackles will jump off the board by the first 10 picks.
I dig it.
You muted, Tate. You muted.
We got to find that dude.
No, you muted.
Yeah, so I get fined. I'll find right after this. There's one Big G to see. That's the Jaime Carlo.
Jaime got his bread, bro.
He got his bread. So
yeah. Hey, man, we thank you, Jaime, for rocking with us over on the Know-It-Alls. And anybody that's in this podcast that doesn't watch the Know-It-Alls podcast, make sure you swing over there and subscribe to it. We're working desperately to get 1K subs. We've grown a lot over the last several weeks. I think we're almost about 780, somewhere around there. So help us get another subscribe, and let's get that number to 1K so you can get some of the content, some of the stuff that we do. There's Jaime right there, just dumped in the chat. Say, Jaime, what's cracking, bro? Congratulations for the 25, bro. Congratulations, man.
Yeah, man.
All right, listen.
Thank you.
This is a good break time, man.
Mm-hmm.
This is a good break time. Thank you for the support. And now we're going to give you that extra second that you need to go ahead and share this podcast. Tell a friend to sign up for the Know-It-Alls. Check out the homies and get those 1,000 subscribers. Listen, I know there's a lot of you that jump in the live chat every week and that give us super chats and sometimes it's $2, sometimes it's $20, and we appreciate all of it. But one thing that everyone in this chat can do that costs 0 cents is go in, rate, review, and share it on your social media. That costs nothing and does volumes for us. So we appreciate you guys rocking with us. And we'll be right back after some messages from our sponsors. All right, and welcome back. As Big G has the sign up right now. If you're watching on YouTube, it says algorithms. Get those algorithms up. If you have not that subscribe, please do so now. Let's get into NBA playoffs. We got the play-ins going on. We got some overtime going on. We got a lot of things going on. Here's what I'm thinking, guys. I think we just real quickly run through the matchups, even though we don't quite have them finalized, and just
one, not finalized. This next game, Memphis versus Dallas will play OKC.
Okay, so Miami's in.
Miami's in. They beat Atlanta in overtime.
All righty. I see that updated on mine now. So we just got one not there. You want to start on the West or the East? I'll let you pick. Big G, you pick. Yeah, find him, Tate. Hit it. You're welcome. You are welcome.
Trying to follow instructions, messing around with Tate.
Listen, I saw that little mute. I saw that little mute, and I threw it right to him. Whoop!
That's the only reason you guys don't get fined, man. It's so easy to do, but you never hit mute, so you can be quiet during the break. We hear you sucking on ice and doing all kinds of stuff. And I'm guilty too during the broadcast, but I do hit mute when we go to break.
That's fantastic. All right,
y'all set me up. Y'all set me up,
West Coast
man.
or East Coast? It wasn't we all. I did. I set you up. So
yeah. I want to go west. I want to go west, man. West Coast.
We'll go west. Let's start off west real quick. Rapid fire. You got the winner of the Mavs. Mavs, Grizzlies. Or do you have OKC?
OKC in 5.
All right.
Get them out of here.
8.
Well, OKC gonna win. I want to see them play the Mavs because Big G, what's the Mavs mean in the playoffs?
What do they mean?
What's that mean?
Acronym.
For us. Oh. It means more corner time for Pay.
Oh yeah, because he bet that. He bet Pay owe a lot of corner time, bro. Pay still owe me from all that mess during the regular season, bro, with the dang on Chicago Bears and he could pay owe some hours, bro.
In all fairness, you owe 25 push-ups too, though.
Okay, but compared to 3 hours of corner time,
too much to talk about. I'm going to also take OKC in a gentleman's sweep. I think AD can get hot and win one game. He's got to shoot threes well in order for that to happen. The 7-2 matchup is the Golden State Warriors versus the Houston Rockets. Interesting 7-2. Tate, who you got in this one?
Golden State.
Golden State. Rolling back.
Houston's good. Well coached by Yume Udoka. Good young players, but young players. Golden State.
Big G.
Give me the Rockets in 7. I like the Rockets in 7.
All right. I'm also going to take Golden State in 6. You got to prove it to me when you're young boys. So I don't know. 6-3, an interesting matchup here. We got the T-Wolves and the Lakers. Big G, who you got?
Man, let me get the T-Wolves, man. Let me get the T-Wolves in 7. Let me get Minnesota in 7.
This is the toughest one. I will say this about this one. Whoever wins this one is going to the Western Conference Finals. So I'm going to take – man, come on, man. You know I got to go with the GOAT King, man. The GOAT King with Luka Magic? Got to go with him, man. I mean, because the ball's going to be in – we all know playoffs, the series shortened, the bench shortens, strategy and coaching become more involved. LeBron and Luka are 2 machines on the court, 2 computers on the court. They're going to beat Minnesota because Ant Edwards can get erratic, Rudy Gobert can get in foul trouble. Give me the Lakers 4-2.
I think the depth of scoring now when you get to the playoffs and you're looking at that, Austin Reeves, I think, is the difference maker, really, because where's that third scorer coming from?
Mm-hmm.
When it goes to the T-Wolves or ball handler or facilitator, I like the Lakers in a tough series. I like them. I think it's going to be a 6 or 7 game series. All right. Another interesting one. We got the 4-5 is the Denver Nuggets and the Los Angeles Clippers. Tate, who you like in this one?
Man, I got to go with the Clippers. What they've been playing lately, man. Ty Lue is a great coach. Denver cut a great coach, Mike Malone.
Facts.
So yeah, I think the Clippers get this one. I think Zubac can not stop Joker. Nobody can stop Joker, but he can body Joker, can rebound with Joker. And if Harden and Kawhi Leonard, which playoffs time, at least for Kawhi Leonard, the past 5-6 years hasn't been his time. Harden never really playoffs is his time. But I think those guys will come through in this series. Give me the Nuggets, and this one could go 7. Give me the Clippers in 7. Clippers in 7.
All right, Big G, who you got?
I like the Nuggets in 6, man. In my opinion, even though I know Shea is going to win the MVP, Joker had one of the best seasons you will ever see out of a player. Joker's really that dude, bro. But I don't think they can make a run for the chip. I just think that they can get one playoff round win, and then they're going to evaluate whether or not they're going to break the team up or not. And it's a shame that they got rid of that coach, man, because it's ridiculous. It's a shame. They should have never got rid of Coach Malone. Never. Bad move.
I really want to say, this. I think this is the Clippers to lose, because of the instability of the franchise, not the team, the franchise. But when you got Joker, you got a chance.
That's facts.
Kawhi is playing as good as I've seen him play in 4 years. James Harden, I think, still wants to win, oddly enough. I'm going to take the Clippers in a tight one. I'm going to take the Clippers in 6.
Got it. Makes sense.
All right, so the East is completely finalized, so we can go to that one. We'll start off with our resident Cavs, longtime Cavs fan. I'm gonna take your Knicks into account here. Longtime Cavs fan.
No, not long. Not long.
Mr. Tate is the long time.
Oh yeah,
fan.
That's facts.
Do the Heat have a chance against your Cavs, Tate?
Come on, man.
I probably with a less less like to see Orlando out of the teams that were in the play-in. They go to Boston. The Heat are tough. The Heat are well coached. But no, I still got the Cavs in 5. I wanted to see the Bulls so we could sweep them. But when they started talking, I had to bet on the Rockets. I had to go against the Bulls. But I was rooting for the Bulls because they were a Central Division team until all them Chicago Yappers got going. But, yeah, Cavs in 5, man, against the Heat.
Big G already got signed up. Oh, no. Hell no.
Hell no. Get him out of here.
Up and done it.
Get him out of here. 5, maybe even 4. Might be a sweep. Get him out. There ain't no way in the world.
At least 5. I also have the Cleveland Cavaliers. I would not be surprised if the Heat can get 2 home games. But I do. That's a 5 or 6 games, and I don't think it's close. When you look at the point differential, I think it'll be a wide gap. 7-2 matchup. Styles make fights. This is an interesting one. Orlando Magic go to Boston Celtics.
Oh,
that 7-2 matchup. G, what you think about that?
Man, this one's going 7. Man, I'm telling you, this one's going 7. Orlando is a matchup nightmare for the Boston Celtics. They are a matchup nightmare. Now, Zingy Pingy, Kristaps Porzingis has been playing well over the last week or 2. He has been. But, man, that big boy down there in Orlando is a dog. Banchero, he's a nightmare. And I like the way that the Orlando Magic guards have improved. Suggs and Cole Anthony, man, they out there playing, man. So, and Boston's strength is how they play on the perimeter. They can switch everything and switch and pop, switch and shoot threes. I got Boston at 7, but it's going to be a dogfight, bro. It is going to be a dogfight.
All right. Tate, you also got the Celtics here. Or you think Orlando's got a chance?
Orlando can win a game, maybe 2, just because they're tough and physical, but it'll come down to shooting. Boston can shoot, Orlando can't. I mean, so when Boston hits 16, 18 threes in the game, Orlando's around 6 or 7, that's going to be the difference. And that can happen any game of the series. So, yeah, give me Boston in 5. I'll say 5.
I have a similar take as you, Tate. I have Boston in 6, and the reason why, I think Orlando will win 1 game at home, and Boston will lose 1 game because they get cold from 3. Just bound to happen out of 6 games. I think one of them, you end up hitting 20%, you lose that game. All right, let's go to the 6-3 matchup.
The East is tough, man.
Big G's ex-wife, the New York Knicks, are playing the 6-seeded Detroit Pistons. G, what you got?
Dogfight. Detroit is so young, they don't know any better. And they're tough. They're tough, man. They're grimy. They want to fight. They want to be in a physical game. They want confrontation. That's what the way the Knicks want to play. Right, so it's going to come down to Brunson and Cunningham. That's what it's going. Cat is a factor, but it's going to come down to Brunson and Cunningham. And whichever one of those dudes get hot, they win the series. I got the Knicks, man, but it's going 7. It's going 7, man. They're going to fight. Detroit is going to fight them boys.
All right, Tate. Did you see Shaq took the Pistons and everybody laughed at him? Are you also you thinking maybe the Pistons have a chance, or are you taking the Knicks?
Man, I'm telling you, the Knicks been overrated all year, man. The Pistons are going to win. The Pistons are, I believe, 3-1 in the season series.
Facts.
New York's defense is not that good. Detroit's defense is, because the second place coach of the year, who was coach of the Cleveland Cavaliers last year, who had them win like 48, 49 games last year, helped turn them around. J.B. Bickerstaff and changed the culture, is now in Detroit, has taken a 14-win team last year and won, I believe, 44 games, like 30 more games this year than last year. And like I said, if it wasn't for – if J.B. hadn't coached the Cavs last year, he would be coach of the year this year. But the fact that the Cavs' new coach won 65 games and he left, I mean, you got to give it to Kenny Atkinson, but JB gonna have them boys ready. Cade Cunningham is a monster. He's a whole monster. And Isaiah Stewart and the kid during in the middle, the boys.
Mm-hmm.
The Pistons come to fight like old school Pistons. Like you expect certain brands from certain cities and certain franchises and certain fans. Like you go to Philly, you know you're in for a fight. You know the fans go boo you. They're gonna throw batteries at Santa Claus and everything else, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or that's the Browns. The Bengals were throwing batteries, snowballs at Santa in Philly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so give me the Pistons. Be there. No, that's your squad. So I'm rooting for them. And because I do the weekly pod with the homies, June and B. Foss from the Bleachers and Speakers post game Piston podcast. Yeah, I'm rooting for them guys too, man. So go Pistons.
Guys all made good points. My point is based on this. I think the physicality of the Pistons and the toughness of the Pistons from top to bottom, not one guy, from top to bottom. I think Cat's going to wake up in a cold sweat after game 2 thinking about Jimmy Butler punking his ass. Give me Detroit in 6.
Hey, man. Hey, B-Dirt, I got to give flowers, too, man. That Ivy kid is a dog, too, man, for Detroit. He's a dog, man. I was watching him. I said,
is he back? Is he back, though?
I think he's back. I think he's ready for the playoff run. Ivy's a dog. Before he got hurt, he was out there killing them. I like Detroit, man. I like Detroit. B-Dirt, remember I was waiting, debating on whether or not I was going to go Detroit, Cleveland, Detroit, Cleveland, Detroit, Cleveland. Man, I love Cleveland, man, but I deep in my heart, I got some love for the Pistons, man.
Yeah, they're fun. They're a fun team. I like Malik Beasley, man. He's been playing well.
Yeah.
He's the only player that hit more than 305 3-pointers in a season. Steph Curry and James Harden and others. So Beasley had an incredible season.
Yeah, facts.
All right. And the 4-5 matchup, we got the Pacers and the Bucks. Tate, who you got? Pacers or Bucks?
My early on call, I'm gonna stick to it. My brother's a Pacers fan, but at the beginning of the season, I said the Pacers, because we do a Central Division podcast, right? Pacers in the Central Division. Every team in Central Division outside Pace, Chicago Bulls, made the playoffs, and they had a chance. But yeah, the Pacers, I said at the beginning of the year, first 2 weeks of the season, we started the first show. Pacers would be the team to regress from where they were last year. You know, so they won one more game this year on the win column. They made the Eastern Conference Finals last year. Giannis was hurt last year in the playoffs. The Pacers beat them. Dame is out right now. If the Milwaukee Bucks extend their playoff run, he can come back. But right now, I got Giannis on a mission, winning this thing by himself against the Pacers. Bucks in 6.
Oh.
All right, Big G, what you think?
I think this one's going 7. And I think Indiana's gonna get hot, bro. I like the Pacers, man. Give me the Pacers in 7. Without Dame, I don't think they can do it, man. Without Dame, they can. Giannis is a great player, but without Dame, I don't think so. Give me the Pacers.
Tim said
he might be, but man, he's still out there hobbling a little bit. You know, so I like when the Pacers play fast. I know that Milwaukee's going to get physical with them, but when the Pacers play fast, the Pacers trying to hit you for 150. they trying to get 150 out you, man.
Hey, B. Dirk, can we get receipts and track? Just write down who picked what for the playoffs.
You got it.
Okay.
So
just a comment to you, B. Dirk.
Oh yeah.
FYI, Dart to Saints because his college OC brother of head coach Kellen Moore. But I didn't sat at.
Oh, I thought it said FYI Dirt. It says Dart. My bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
He said Jackson Dart to the Saints.
Go to the Saints. I heard that too.
I agree because of his connection to Kellen Moore. I agree.
So most of the time, I keep bias and I keep what I want to pick out of picks. I normally pick what I think is going to happen. I'm able to separate that pretty well. But in the Eastern Conference, there are 2 picks that I want, and that was the Detroit Pistons. And the second one is the Pacers are just a lot more fun to watch than the Bucks.
They are, man.
I'm rooting for the Pacers to win.
Mm-hmm.
So give me the Pacers. Give me the Pacers at 7.
I can see why you guys picked that, but the playoffs in NBA are about stars. Giannis is the biggest star in that series, the best player, probably still in the division. So that's why I picked the Bucks. And I think
I agree, but I want to boo them because they're no fun to watch.
Boo. Boo, get out of here.
Junk.
Mm.
And that brings us to our second break. We will get those picks together. I think too, also in the comments, I can go back up there. I believe Pay already put his in the chat. So
He did.
I can grab his comments off of that as well.
yeah, where's it at?
It's
Go
at the
back.
very
top.
beginning. So
At the very top.
I'll be able to get it when we
The
run
very top?
Mm-hmm.
first thing before anybody else said anything.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But yeah, we'll take a quick break here. Our second and final break. Here, quick messages from our sponsors. If you have not yet, I do not know what you are waiting for. Hit that like, thumbs up, subscribe, rate and review 5 stars, and share it with a friend. Costs you $0 to support us and what we're trying to do here across all of our channels. This reaches everything. So we appreciate you rocking with us. We'll be right back after this message from our sponsors. And you are officially back with the homies overtime. We went through the first round of the NBA playoffs.
You want to read Pay's picks real quick while I pull them up?
Oh, yeah. If you're going to click on them, I'll read them. Okay. So Pay takes OKC. Remember? He takes OKC. He takes Houston in 7. He takes the Lakers in 6. He takes the Clippers in 6.
So we picked all the same except for Houston, and he just got that Golden State hate because they got him corner time.
All right. And then in the East, he takes the Cavs in 5. He takes Boston in 5. He takes the Pacers in 6. And he takes Detroit in 6. All right. So that we all took KC, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we all took KC. Did anybody else take Houston?
I took the Rockets.
Big G and Tay. Me and you took the Warriors, B-Dirt.
Well, somebody's got to win. The Lakers.
That's you. I didn't take them. I took
Minnesota.
I took the Timberwolves.
So G took the Wolves. Okay. And then the Clippers. I took the Clippers.
I took the Clippers.
Took the Clippers, and Big G did not, correct?
Correct.
Pay took the Clippers. Big G out there on that island.
Everybody
go hard or go home.
Cavs.
Go hard or go home. Go hard or go home.
Everybody took the Celtics. And the Pacers. I took the Pacers. Tate did not, right?
Yep.
I'm the one who took the Bucks in that one.
All right. BG and then the Pacers. And then Detroit is me and Tate.
No. Yeah.
And then
Because I took the Knicks.
Yep.
Yeah, I took the Knicks in 7.
Pay took Detroit too.
Yep. We got them all marked. We're good. All right.
I'm either going to be in a lot of trouble or I'm going to win big.
Well, it sounds like G's takes.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
shout out Val Ford.
Algorithms.
There you go.
You can dig it. All right, let's hit real quick. Just a health check, a status check, if you would, on our Major League Baseball teams. Since my team is the only one that resides in the American League, which, by the way, I spent a couple decades talking about how the American League was the better league and had the best players and the best teams. I'm going to refrain from saying that this year. That's it. Detroit Tigers, after starting off getting swept by the LA Dodgers, have righted the ship and played pretty well. Officially now 12-8, 600 and sitting atop the American League Central above the Guardians. So happy about where they're at right now, especially with that 0-3 start. Go over to the National League.
Tigers are 12-8. Yeah, good job.
Going over to the National League, everybody's team is at least 500. And the Reds have won 7 out of the last 10 in order to get there, and they are 10-10 right now. What's your take on them, Tate, so far?
Of the 10 losses, I can say 6 were giveaways, 4 or 5 one-run games. They're up 9-7. They won tonight against Baltimore. They were up 9-7 last night in the top of the ninth. Pitch and change, bring in the closer, Pagan. He gives up 2 solo shots back-to-back, tie it up 9-9. They end up losing the game 13-9. Terrible. Mm-hmm. Another giveaway. So that's about 5 or 6 of the losses that are giveaways. They're playing good, not in form yet. So that 7 out of 10 should be 8 out of 10. They won today. We need to win this series against the Orioles, but we're in a good place. I mean, because Pace Cubs are ahead of the same amount of losses.
But you're saying right now the Reds are close. They're getting closer. That curl ain't quite turned over yet, but we're getting there.
Right. I think baseball, when you're struggling can't be worse than 500. So we're 500 now, 10-10.
Okay.
The Cubs have 9 losses. The Brewers ahead of us have 9 losses. So we're right there, right in the mix. So yeah.
So I
like where we're at considering.
That's a good segue. So Pace Cubs are 13-9, leading the NL Central. Have come back down to reality a little bit with 6-4 of the last 10. Pay, what do you got to say about that? All right, cool. We'll move on from that. Off to a pretty good start though. And then the Phillies, the dreaded Phillies, we knew, listen, Big G told all of us they were going to be hot garbage this year. Bet against them. They're going to win 40 games, whatever it was. It was absurd. But the Phillies are second right now in the East at 12-8. Only 5-5 in the last 10, but playing some decent baseball. Big G, what's your take on them?
Well, they started off hot as a firecracker. But you see when they had to go and play against the Atlanta Braves, who suck and is the worst team in our division, they lost that 2 out of 3, and the Cardinals just beat the brake shoes out of them too in a series. So they playing like how I thought. What helped them was that super hot start. Right now they're 12-8, and now that the Mets done jumped in front of us, I'm telling y'all, man, they in a little bit of trouble. I wouldn't be shocked if within a week or two they're sitting in the second to last place, but never behind those trash Pirates, because the Pirates is garbage. They are horrible, bro.
The Pirates are 8-3. Paul Skeens is 2-1 with a 2.96 ERA. He did get roughed up a little bit, had his worst outing as a pro, but seemed to right that ship. And fun fact, half their home games so far have had less than 9,000 attendees.
That's facts.
That's not good.
Since you brought in,
the kids say.
Since you brought in Paul Skeens, let me comment on the way too early Cy Young front runner, Hunter Green from Cincinnati Reds. Pitched in 4 games, pitched 27.2 innings, gave up 12 hits, 3 runs, and has a .98 earned run average right now.
And to me, not the most impressive thing about his season so far. To me, the most impressive thing about his season so far was his post-game interview after the game where they had him change his glove that he's been using for 2 seasons. What a way to handle that. I thought he handled it with poise and character without giving up his stance that it was dumb.
Mm-hmm.
It was a little bit of a witch hunt. So
he has a Nike glove and it says something about the Nike symbol in there was shining or something.
Yeah, he's been using it for 2 years.
Been using,
Kick rocks.
Mm-hmm. Facts. Total facts.
All right. National Hockey League.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll say it for us. Well, they had 27,900 tonight be dirty. Well, I mean, it was the first time the sun has shown its face in Pittsburgh this season. It's the first time it's been over 70 degrees. And it's a good time to go out there and see it, Dennis. They're going to have some games when they do have good attendance. And they're also going to have one of the 3 or 4 worst attendances in the league. Period.
Facts.
Point blank.
That's
no
facts.
No one cares about the owner. Bob Nutting has lost the fan base. That's the problem. But I'll continue to push forward here. NHL is not our wheelhouse. I like it. I appreciate it. It's also not my wheelhouse.
Mm-hmm.
I do pay attention to it. I do get the differences between a lot like the NBA. The game is a little bit different in the playoffs as opposed to the regular season. It slows down. The line changes are going to happen a lot. It gets a little more physical. There's more diving in front of pucks.
Mm-hmm.
There's less penalties called. And this has been a season where there's been less penalties called across the league. They really started seeing how much the power play was giving people advantages. So they've kind of ate the whistle unless it's blatant, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for that reason, I'm going to give you who I think is going to be in the championship, who I think is going to win the championship, and who I would put my long shot on. So the betting favorite right now is the Avalanche at plus 750. The Panthers are plus 800. The Lightning and Oilers and Hurricanes are all plus 900.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fun bet, getting some money in at the beginning of the NHL playoffs because there's always value in it. There's never anybody that's a huge favorite, right?
Mm-hmm.
Very rarely, I should say, because anything can happen in hockey. With the physicality in mind, and Tkachuk is now back and healthy for the Panthers. And I think that's a big reason why they're going to be favored in this first matchup against a team that's had a better record than them, the Lightning.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take the Panthers to get into the finals against my long shot bet. I'm going to take the Panthers to win at plus 800, but my long shot is also going to be in the finals. I'm predicting, and that's the Capitals at plus 1100. I think the Capitals, physical team, slow down the pace, and I want to put a few ducats on can Ovi get the goals record and then win one more chip and ride off into the sunset.
Mm-hmm.
And who doesn't want to see Ovi retire after getting this goal scoring with a chip in his hand? After the last time he won his first chip, that boy was drunk for 2 straight months. I want to see him partying all over the world. That's what I'm rooting for. Big G, you got any thoughts or comments on that, or anybody else that you want to throw in there that you like?
So, believe it or not, man, I've actually started watching hockey a lot over the last 3 months. My middle daughter is a diehard hockey fan. She's been following hockey for at least 4 years. Her team is the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Mm-hmm.
I had to start watching the Maple Leafs with her. And I'm a Maple Leafs fan. I'm claiming them. I've never had a hockey team where I'm saying that's my squad. I'm with the Maple Leafs, man. So I've watched Austin Mayer. I know who he is. He's the right wing. I mean Austin Matthews, he's the center. Mitch Mayer, he's the right wing player for them. They could put it together. It wasn't a 1 seed by accident. So I had to pick a long shot. I'm taking the Toronto Maple Leafs, bro. I think that the Maple Leafs can get on a run, get hot, and represent to be in the finals of the NHL, man. So go Leafs. I know the fight song. My daughter, I'm telling you, my middle daughter, she freaking loves hockey, bro. She watches it all the time. And I'm like, I didn't really have interest like that. I started watching it with her. Go Leafs. go
Leafs
Toronto Maple Leafs.
Teams that are fun because they're fast and they're skilled, right?
Mm-hmm.
Will that work in the playoffs?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, but they'll have to get hot and stay hot, and they need a goalie to get hot as well. Tate, anything you want to add on NHL?
He got the mute, dog. The fine.
Boom! Hit the fine button.
Coming with the integrity. So find myself. Say, as my favorite, I'm between the Florida Panthers and the Vegas Golden Knights. I just think Stanley Cup in Vegas would be fun, would be great.
Yep.
So and
I got to watch them beat the Detroit Red Wings like a drum in March. So I can dig that. And by the way, I think they're plus 1250 or 1200 or somewhere around there. So
the Golden Knights are on FanDuel. They're plus 500, plus 900, plus 900.
900. Okay, so they're getting better odds. I think they were below the Capitals, right below the Capitals on DraftKings.
Okay, well, FanDuel has the Capitals. That's why I was going to take them as my sleeper. FanDuel has the Capitals at plus 1100.
Yeah, that's what they are too on DraftKings.
So yeah, I'm taking the Capitals hometown. Only hockey team I've ever really kind of semi-followed. Not even semi. Only team I see the scores of every day and highlights of on the local news. And I've been to like 3 Capital games, and hockey is great to be in the building. So I'm rooting for it. Like B. Durr said about Ovi, man, that's like my favorite players to win championships. Ovi and J.R. Smith.
Oh yeah, that's a good call out. That's a good call out. That guy didn't wear a shirt for 30 days.
Right.
Quadfather, I want to reference something he said at the 10:22 mark. He said, "Nutting sucks, but if he sells the team, they will move." And I don't think fans understand that. He's talking about the Pittsburgh Pirates and owner Bob Nutting. I will combat that by saying this. In 2013, I owned a restaurant directly across from PNC Park, and one of the guys that came and ate at my establishment took a picture with me in front of our sign and had me tweet him out was Mr. Mark Cuban. Mark Cuban was from Pittsburgh. He wanted to buy the Pittsburgh Pirates. He sure as hell didn't want to move the Pittsburgh Pirates, but the little boys network in the MLB wouldn't let him in. He tried to buy the Pirates and he tried to buy the Cubs, and they just wouldn't let him in. Basically, the Pirates weren't for sale, and then the Cubs he kind of got blackballed from. So is what it is.
I think he would have been a good owner. You wouldn't be penny pinching right now if you're the Pirates.
No, you wouldn't.
And what was the name of your restaurant, B. Dirt? Remind me.
BZ's Twisted American Cuisine.
Yeah, that was a nice spot, man.
It was fun.
Really nice.
I miss it. I would not do it right now, man. It's a young man's game. Woo. my shoulders still hurt because of it. So the last thing I want to wrap up with is college football. And I'm gonna save the best for last on this one. I'm gonna let Tate go first because I know that G's really going to get into it. But they got some stuff on the dockets now about salary caps, and they're starting to come out and say that the salary or they're getting a 2-year, $4 million deal. Like, this is no longer NIL. It's not name, image, and likeness. That you're getting a contract basically. So something's got to change in that world. The transfer portal is out of control. A lot of people are starting to make comments about it. A lot of things you're seeing, like this late spring portal. Michigan has a handful of players sitting out. And what happens is you get Justice Haynes comes in from running back. And then we have Hall that thought he had a good spot with a backup, sees the 2 guys in front of him and says, I'm not going to play enough. And he scats out. It's not like he plays the year and then skates. I mean, he just spring game. I'm out. I'm done. So it's a weird thing. Tate, crystal ball, what do you think's going to happen? What's your take on this? Like, do you think it's bad for the game? Do you think it's good for the game? Do you think it's good for the kids, bad for the kids? Like, what's your overall take with this? The state of the union for college football.
I think at its premise is good for the game. And I've said from the very beginning, though, there has to be regulations. It was too wild, wild west. From the very beginning, I said this. You know what I mean? Need to be some kind of regulations. Don't have to be the NCAA over it. Just needs to be some regulations, some rules put down, how much money teams can spend. I mean, on incoming players. There's just a transfer portal open. There's been players, and because of COVID, it's been in schools for 6 and 7 years. Too much. Also, I think that the transfer portal, one time when your season's over with and you're done, both seasons are with, that's when you have to declare, and you get one time. You don't get to change your mind in spring again. One time. So that would limit some of that stuff because players see what incoming recruits are coming and stuff like that, and they feel some kind of way, so they change their mind in spring. They say, "Oh, my spring's not going well here. Coach is not giving me a chance." Then they run and leave. You know what I mean? If you decide at the end of your season that, man, this don't look like it's going to work for me here, I'm going somewhere else, I can respect that. But once competition starts for the 2026, 2025 season right now, and you're there to start it, you stay there. So I think you put some regulations on it, some caps, I don't know how that gets done because some schools just make more money than other schools, but I think you put some caps on it, you put some regulations on it in structure, and you stop all this jumping around and the ability to jump 2 times in the off season. No, too much.
I'm going to say a couple of things, and then I'm going to let you run with this. Jake Butt, announcer for Big Ten Network, and does a couple other things.
All-time Michigan great.
Michigan great tight
end, right?
Yep. Unfortunate injuries stopped his NFL career for sure. But he made a comment. He was on Locked On Wolverines last week, and he made a comment. He goes, "We're actually recording the spring game, the Michigan spring game, and playing it the following Sunday, I think it was, that it goes to air." He goes, "Between recording the game and it going to air, there's going to be 4 or 5 people that enter the portal." It's crazy to talk, think about and talk about that. So that's a worry and a concern for me. And the other concern I have, the NIL thing, I do believe there needs to be some sort of cap on it. I've even floated the idea that there's maybe not a cap in name and image and likeness what these guys can make, because Bryce Underwood is linked right now to a Nike deal. I'm not saying he can't go get a Nike deal and get 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 million if they're willing to pay him, he should be able to get it. What I think that should happen though is the money that comes from the boosters in the schools and whatever, there should be some sort of trust set up for that situation. So that, okay, the cap that we're going to put on your freshman year is you get 1.5 million. Your sophomore year 2, your junior year 2.5, your senior year 3. Anything over that in your NIL or whatever it might be, that goes into a trust that you get X amount at 25, X amount at 30, and X amount at 35. Like, set these kids up for long term, because you're giving an 18-year-old $10 million up front. Bad things. Bad things. And then you're going to hear stories come about slimy agents and people that align themselves with, and it might end up being some family members that do these kids wrong. So I'm saying, for the best situation for the kids and for their long-term investment, give them money, let them have their fun, but make sure there's some more coming. And I think that's important. Especially with these big dollar amounts that we're talking about. The problem you get with, if it just comes in contract from if you're just saying here's going to be the caps and the contracts, then that becomes from the school thing. It becomes a revenue thing and not an NIL thing, and then they all cry.
Hey, B Dirt, just piggyback on what you said, man. I think that a potential regulation should be, you should be able to cap a player's career college income because it's become not about college. I mean, you're still going to school for freaking opportunity. Yeah, we want to put some money in your pocket, but when it's got up to the point where it's just an auction for players and you're bidding for players everywhere in a reckless type way, it becomes unfair and not fun. You know what I mean? Now, I'm okay with how it goes for Ohio State. They're one of the big brand schools, big money, alma mater and people that went to the school and stuff like that. So it works for them. But I'm about parity and fairness.
And it being above the table has already made some more parity. And Big G, as I kick this over to you, I do want to say there's also been the rumblings of players right now have thought about sitting out their not just bowl games, but their playoff games as a means to negotiate. So what do you think about the State of the Union, NIL, transfer portal, and all the things we got going on?
So first of all, it's the roosters coming home to roost. For years and years and years and years, college programs, especially football, was super money makers for institutions. When you start talking about blue blood programs, Michigan, Ohio State, USC, Notre Dame, Florida, Florida State, Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee, astronomical amounts of money have been made for years, right? So I will always, always, always lean on the side of the kids because there was guys like me that they gave money to. It was under the table and it was slimy, okay? And there was a lot of unregulated things that was happening. So at least now it's out in the open. So because of that is why now, in my opinion, you're seeing parity. Because what was going on for years and nobody wanted to talk about it was the SEC was paying astronomical amounts of dollars to have kids stay there. And now all of a sudden the SEC can't catch a damn cold. I promise you the SEC's not going to win a national championship next year. They're not going to do it because there's parity across the board now. And that's why now all of a sudden you're seeing these Big Ten teams, the Michigans, the Oregons, the Ohio States. Now they're the cream of the crop because the playing field has been leveled for all teams to get paid based on the merit of what the kid's worth. So I'm always going to lean on the side for the money. Now, should there be regulations? Possibly. But I don't think that the NC2A has the balls to do it because they know the moment that they start putting regulations on this, these kids are no longer collegiate athletes. These kids are now employees. You can't regulate something when someone is a student. You can regulate something when someone is an employee, and they don't want to go down that road because if they become employees, now they have unions, they have rights, and now they have leverage even more so about the money that's being paid up front and television contracts and everything else that the money gets based on the back of those players. They don't want to do that. So I believe that this is the start of the end of the NC2A. I think within the next 2 to 5 years, super conference football schools will completely separate from the NC2A and set up their own regulations based on some of the things that you guys said. You're going to have to put some level of regulation in there. So how do we do it? We get away from the NC2A and we put our own regulations in based on super conferences because that's the way we're going. Otherwise, you're not going to do it. So I'm with it. Right, I'm with the fact of there's got to be regulations, and there's kids that suffered from this. I don't know if you guys remember, there's a kid named Dakotas Crawford. He was a 4-star, 5-star kid that was out there, thought he could get NIL money. He's then hit the transfer portal now 4 times, and he doesn't have a home yet. And this money's being blown. I don't know. I'm also a firm believer is you don't count another man's pocket. You're dead wrong for counting another man's pocket. What they earn is what they earn. But I feel sorry for some of these kids that's being exploited by their families, being exploited by different organizations, NIL people that are making promises to them about money and dollars and cents and deals. It's exploitation at its finest. So, yes, I do think that you should have regulations, but I'm telling you flat out, the NC2A is a dead man walking. And it should be, because they started this by years and years by letting a conference like the SEC get away from robbing and stealing and stockpiling players, and we didn't know anything about it. And kids were suffering from that. So I'm the NC2A to me is a dead man. And I'm moving forward with allowing the players to get what they need and get the super conference and do what they need to do concerning college football, man.
Man, I that is the most support I've ever seen in a chat from us. That was a fantastic take. I agree with them. Big G, that was your best work, man. That was cooking right there, man.
I love college football, bro. I love college football with a passion. By the way, tomorrow, I say goodbye to the Ohio State program. I'm still going to be with them. I love them. But tomorrow, my family's got an invite. We're going to the Woody Hayes Center. It's my son-in-law's last hoorah. We're getting together as a family at the Woody Hayes Center. We're going to say goodbye to players. Yeah, I'm going to be taking a lot of pictures and talking to them. But I thank the Buckeyes we had a hell of a run, man. For the time that my son-in-law was there on campus with Ohio State and have an opportunity to carry my whole family, my son-in-laws, my daughters, my wife, one of the friends of the family, we get to actually go in there and walk through it, see coaches, see players. We'll be there tomorrow at noon, probably about 3 or 4. So I thank you, Coach Ryan Day. I thank you, the Ohio State program, for the support that you did for my son. And we finished it off with a national championship. So I love the Buckeyes. I love them till I die.
And your family. And hey, and he's on to great things. Your son-in-law is. So best luck in this next chapter of his life. So want to kind of on the way out, rather than doing a little, unless you guys got something you need to get off your chest, by all means do so. But we got one of the legends retiring from sports media, and I just wanted to hear your guys' thoughts and takes on it, and congratulate one Mr. Lee Corso. Coach Corso is doing one more game day, and that will be it this season at the young age of 89 years young, and right off into the sunset. Tate, what are your thoughts on Lee Corso and his career, and anything else you want to say to wrap this up?
On Corso, the biggest compliment I can give him, I gave him if you read the show description. Lee Corso is the college football what John Madden was the pro football.
Facts,
I'm
man.
done.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Absolutely, man. Shout out to the 47 times Mr. Corso wear the headgear of the Ohio State Buckeyes. That's who started it all. He started out by wearing headgear, and he wore the Buckeyes headgear. He picked them 47 times, but there wouldn't not be College Game Day, the noon big kickoff show, all these things and all these platforms. Guys like Joe Klatt, Curb Herbstreit, they wouldn't exist without Lee Corso. So he was a great coach at Indiana. He made them serviceable. Indiana in the 80s had very good football teams. If you don't know that, you need to go back and look and see who was at the helm over there. It was Lee Corso. Very good coach at the University of Indiana, able to take it on the professional level. He carried college football for years. We're going to miss you, Coach. We're going to miss you, man, a whole lot, man.
Yeah, I think everybody immediately thinks about the fun things he's done, the not so fast and the headgear and the jovial personality that he is. And that's a big part of it. That's a big part of what he has going for him and who he is. And up Tim Lyons with Super Chat. Great take, G, on the state of the NCAA and the NIL.
Thank you, Tim. We appreciate you, bro. Yeah.
But that's a big part of it. But to your point, G, the guy was also very knowledgeable. He broke down matchups very well. He knew so much. And still does at the ripe old age of 87, 88. Now, listen, where there's some things that, maybe he lost a step here or there. Yeah, I mean, everybody does as you age, right? But one of the things I want to shout out that College Game Day crew for, especially Reese Davis and Kirk Herbstreit, they allowed that man to age with grace.
Facts.
And did a incredible job of helping him, supporting him, but still letting him be himself and his personality on that show.
Who is that?
What's that?
Who you shouting out for that?
Reese Davis and Kirk
Oh yeah, absolutely. They carried.
Oh yeah, they did. But
I
I just wanted to chime in right there because the guys who work with John Madden did the same thing for him.
Oh, that's facts.
1,000%. And it's just a beautiful thing to see that. And then they add, Nick Saban and Pat McAfee. How's that going to change? And they immediately got it. And they immediately did the same. Like no one ever stepped on Corso's toes. No one ever laughed at him on set. Like those guys allow him to age gracefully, and you don't see that much. Normally it's piranhas in the fish tank. So congrats, well done. And yep.
It's just the respect that he's earned over all those years. He's the OG. I mean, every group typically has an OG, right? Like a guy that he's the guy. He came before me. He showed me the way. In everything. Right now in college. Yeah, exactly. I mean, so when you think about it like that, they only did what they were supposed to do. But so shout out to them for allowing it to happen.
And last but not least, shout out the live chat. Like we said, man, we're gonna be out there. Look at that know-it-alls page. We're gonna be out there next week, but it's gonna be based upon how the timing of the draft goes and some other things in personal life. I appreciate you guys rocking with us every time we do. We read as much as we can over here going on in the live chat and AFL 67. I also watch a little bit of golf. So my last congrats is Rory McIlroy.
Oh, facts.
Fifth player all time to do the personal Grand Slam, and finally got that monkey off his back by winning the Masters. Congrats to Rory. That was a beautiful thing to see. And he tried to give it away twice, but he went back and got it. What you got there?
He talked about Desmond Howard, right?
Yeah, I did say Desmond Howard as well.
You brought Desmond Howard.
Reese Davis and Kirk Herbstreit to me were the two that – and Kirk, because he sat beside Lee Corso, and it was always those two paired. And Reese more because he ran the whole – like he was the host. And then the third person I shouted out was Desmond.
Actually, Desmond interchanged with Joey Galloway. At one point, they had Joey Galloway out front and Desmond back, and then they flipped them. Desmond Howard went front and Joey Galloway went back. So, but Lee Corso and Kirk Herbstreit has been there from the rip. They flipped them. They went from the front to the back. Look, come on, man. No diddy, no doubt.
Big G, you walked right into that one.
I did, man.
Completely.
No diddy. You got to chill.
Yeah, I got me.
But I think that was a good changing of roles because Desmond's personality matched more. I mean, Joey Galloway, Ohio State all-time great. Desmond Howard, all-time Michigan great. Two things they have in common, both from Ohio.
It was nice to get Herbstreit also from Ohio. And so you didn't have all Ohio State guys on the panel too. It was nice to see some back and forth during those, preview of those games.
Big G, I don't know. Who you like better, Kirk Herbstreit or Joe Klatt?
Oh, Joe Klatt is my number one guy. Joe Klatt. Kirk Herbstreit's okay, but I don't like how he's flip-flopped on some of his stuff. Because he was big time biased in certain ways, especially with SEC. And I'm like, dude, come on. Joe Klatt has been consistent all the way, bro, to me.
So two things. One, I think Joe Klatt, even though they both call games and stuff, I think he sticks his neck out about his opinions a little bit more than Herbstreit does. Herbstreit plays a little more close to the vest. But I will say one thing I do like about Herbstreit now, since his son is playing for that team up north, someone, AJ Hawk and Pat McAfee hit him with that OH on the McAfee show, and he just shook his head no and didn't do it. Yeah,
I saw it.
Come to the dark side, my friend.
Yeah. You better be careful then in Columbus, Ohio, buddy, because you're gonna catch one.
Don't his other son still play for Ohio State?
He's the senior. This is it for him.
Okay. And the quarterback went to Michigan.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
He's down the depth chart.
He's the same class as Underwood.
Yeah,
true freshman.
Came in as freshman.
He'll never play.
He better go ahead to transfer portal now. This spring when he
transfer from Fresno State. Bryce Underwood, and Jaden Davis all in front of him. At least those three.
He'll never play. He'll never play.
And we have 2 guys in a recruiting class next year. We're going to get at least one, another really good one. So I don't know. Yeah, he might be a career backup. But hey, great place if you're going to be a career backup. It's a great place to get an education from. It's a great school.
That part is true.
That's
But
facts.
Kirk is anywhere he wants and pay for it. He can go somewhere and have a chance to play. But kids are different. I mean, maybe, and I appreciate kids that want to smoke and take on the challenge. So much respect for Baby Herb Street. I just wanted to say it's going to be tough on Kirk. Got his son at Ohio State, tough on Michigan, losing Corso, and lost his dog in the past year. So,
new dog traveling with him. Yeah.
Like going on with Kirk.
All right. Well, we appreciate you guys rocking with us as always. Like I said, next weekend will be a little bit funky for this show and for what we're going to do with the know-it-all. So stay tuned for that. Big G, any place they're going to catch you before then?
Yeah, well, the know-it-alls, I'll be on this Sunday. I'll be back on Steelers Almighty on Tuesday. We're going to do our final mock draft stuff that we got to set up for the week. Wednesday, swing on over to Know It All's podcast with Smash the Gas with Curb. Curb, you ain't been on your job, but and you're a Yinzy, so we got to do that first as the Know It Alls, and then we'll move into Pump Your Brakes because we're the last show before the draft on Steel Curtain Network. So those are all the places that I'll be before, and then I'll be sort of somewhere everywhere in the podcast streets
It'll be
on Thursday.
With you for several of those. You doing any of the Cavs stuff coming up too?
We'll do our show Monday, and I get to really let the Bulls crew be able to talk about the Miami Heat. I'm not going to let them have it. That would be a no Diddy. I'm going to talk about the Heat letting the Bulls have it. How about that?
AFL 67 says G Herbstreit is great at calling games live. He is.
He is.
Yeah, I like Herbstreit better. But just in closing, man, real quick, I want to give a shout out. I'm going way back. Big G knows what I'm talking about. Go back to the hometown. Shout out to the homie Darnell Collins. Been working in the Lyman City school system for a lot of years. Was head football coach once. Was a principal at junior high. Moved around the city school system for a while. Played football with us. Shout out Buddha, what we call him, number 48. Was named principal of Lyman Senior High School. Our high school alma mater. Was named principal today. So just want to go ahead and shout him out. Congratulations. Does a lot as a – I don't know how young we are now. He's a little older than me. But a lot as a young black man in the community of Lima, Ohio. I just want to shout him out and congratulate him on that gig. So shout out, homie. We appreciate you.
Very cool. All right. That wraps it up for today. Thank you for sticking in there with us. Went a little bit long, but hey, man.
Ooh, hanging in there was is better.
Yep. But thank you for rocking with us, and we will be back next week. Catch us again. Lock up Brett Favre. My bad. And we're out.
Holla.
Mamba out.